Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We continue our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And let's continue to look at, for this Saturday, that letter to the Hebrews. We did the first 16 verses of chapter 11 yesterday, where we talked about the various persons and how they were faithful. We started with Abel and Enoch, and then Noah, and then Abraham and Sarah. And he's going to pick up again with Abraham here at verse number 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith, Jacob, when he was a-dying, blessed both of the sons of Joseph and worshiped, leaning on the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel and gave command concerning his bones. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw that he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians assaying to do were drowned. By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. By faith the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not, when she had received the spies with peace. All right, so you're getting a great Old Testament lesson, right? We're working our way through the Old Testament, and we hear about Isaac and how God asked him to asked Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac, and then instead provided the ram. How Isaac blessed his sons. How Jacob then blessed Joseph. Joseph had been sold into slavery and became one of the leaders of Pharaoh, and he blessed them. And then proceeded that in time, even though they were all brought safely into Egypt because of the famine in the rest of the world, Joseph arranged for them to have the best of the land. He said, look, you will take my bones out of here when you go as a people. And it would be hundreds of years later that the people of Israel would eventually be enslaved and then would be freed. And they took the bones of Joseph with them, right? Went on to talk about Moses and all that he did, even by being saved as a baby in the weeds, and then being raised as Pharaoh's daughter, and that he in turn became the one who led the people out of slavery, out of bondage in Egypt, out of that into what became that time of Exodus, the time of preparation for them to be in that promised land. So anyway, and we also put Jericho and Rahab. Well, so we've got more to go. But again, the writer of the letter to the Hebrews is building up this case about faith. And it is by grace through faith that we are saved. So today's Saturday. No public worship today at St. John's, but we're getting ready for tomorrow, aren't we? Saying our prayers today, of course, but tomorrow we gather here at St. John's to worship the good God. We have 7:30 morning prayer, 8 o'clock Holy Communion, 10 o'clock Holy Communion, and 5:30 evening prayer with the opportunity to receive communion. And may God grant us all a Saturday that's full of blessings.